What's up, turf therapists, and welcome back to another episode of Turf Therapy. In today's episode of Turf Therapy, I'm going to be pruning my hollies right after this. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Turf Therapy. If this is your first time here at Turf Therapy, this is pretty much a channel where I just go over basic lawn care on how you take care of your lawn and some light landscaping as well. I'm just a guy who has passion for doing yard work and wanted to share that passion with you all out there. So today we're about to prune my hollies, my dwarf Beaufort Chinese hollies. And when we're talking about hollies, I know it's a common question people ask, how do you actually prune a holly? So you might be kind of hesitant on how to even approach it. And that's understandable, right? And that's what we're here to talk about today. Careful when pruning a holly into a hedge. A common mistake that's usually made is people tend to and want to trim the lower branches shorter than the branches up top. Don't do that. Instead, it's recommended to maintain an overall even shape throughout the entire holly, right? So you want to give it its good support on the bottom just as much as at the top, especially when we're talking about English hollies. You definitely don't want to remove the lower limbs of an English holly. The English holly, you want those limbs to go all the way to the ground if possible. You know, that's going to be the foundation and stabilization for that healthy plant throughout its life cycle. If you're unsure of the type of holly you have in your landscape, you definitely want to visit a local landscaping company or maybe a really good nursery in your area. Or me, I personally prefer to just go to my extension office because that's literally what those guys do for a living. A common question that's asked is, when is actually the best time to trim your hollies? And it's actually right now in December. Most hollies will be going winter dormant. If it's getting cold enough in that area, they'll go into winter dormancy throughout the winter. So when it goes winter dormant, that is the perfect time to actually trim them back. You don't really want to do it in the spring and or the summer. I was reading because it actually, you end up, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't do it the right way, you'll end up reduce the amount of berries that end up flowering right back. So, and even though my dwarf Beaufort holly is drought and heat resistant, it still doesn't make sense for me to put more stress upon it and prune it in the middle of the summer. So that doesn't make sense. So anyway, we're going to prune my holly because it is December, and when you're pruning them, you pretty much want to take them back to the stem, or you can actually go back to the limb itself, but just maintain that even shape throughout. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. I haven't finished filling this bag. This was from the leaves that I did. I still haven't had anyone recommend anything to me, guys. What can I use to compost this on site? I know one of y'all, Mark, out there at Long Creeps Limited. Mark, what can I do to compost on site right here at my house? I don't have that much space to work with. I'm thinking about putting it over there on the side. You seem like a guy that would know. What kind of ideas do you have, bud? Shoot them my way. All right, so one thing about hollies, right? You don't want to use hedge trimmers. You have to hand prune them. That was something that Joyce up there in my extension office specifically told me that I must do. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, stay tuned. All right, so when we're pruning these hollies, you kind of want to, I already know what I want to do to these, but you kind of want to get a step back and kind of look at the shape and the formation they're working with, right? You definitely want to have on gloves as well, because although it's checking out, it doesn't mean that it's still, you know, hollies, they're prickly, right? You know, you prick yourself. No one wants that, right? All right, so let's see. Just go to work, right? So you want to cut them at their stems for the most part, and I know how far I want to take it back. So what I'm gonna do is find a portion and just start kind of working it and evening it out. I just realized I didn't let you see a before shot. What good is the after shot going to be without the before shot? So this is what I'm working with. As you can see, it's bunched up, you know, and it's funny, right? Because as I'm taking back this portion, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but you can see where it's brown and then green. It's like it was protecting itself. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna take them all back just like that. So you got your before shot. That saying keeps coming in my head, you know, don't cheat your lawn and your lawn won't cheat you. Because every bit of me wants to grab those hedge trimmers and just whack this thing down. But I'm not going to cheat it. I'm going to do it the right way. I don't know how much damage that would create if I were to decide to just hit it with the hedge trimmers. But I specifically remembering Joyce telling me not to do that. And I wish I had asked for forgiveness rather than for permission at this point. So we're making pretty good progress though, right? So you see I'm pretty much opening up space in between this one right here. Got some space opening up there. So that's what I wanted to do, right? I wanted to mitigate the amount of area, well, that cover, that natural habitat for mosquitoes and during the spring. So we'll see if this helps. It might not, but either way, it still needed to be trimmed because it was starting to look unkept, to be honest. So let's just get back to it. All right, look at it. She looks good, doesn't she? All right, full disclaimer, first time I ever did this. I'm about to clean up all this good material that would be great for composting, right? But I don't have a way to compost yet. Mark, how am I supposed to compost, Mark? No, I'm joking. Well, yeah, guys, so I cleaned it up. It looked relatively even. I noticed that because of the crowding that was happening, some spaces were a lot more wooded. Like they didn't even have greenery there. It was dead. So it needed to be cut back because it was killing itself. It was twining in on itself. So, but overall it looks great. So when next year during the spring and the summer, I already told you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use those Spartan mosquitoes, and then hopefully with me trimming back these hollies and the Spartan mosquitoes and some other things I'm going to do to treat the around the home and whatnot, using some permethrin, some bifin, IT. There was another product that someone told me about. I think it was like Tall Star or something. I don't know. I'll look it up. But anyway, guys, that's it. That's how you trim a holly bush. So remember, recap real quick. You definitely don't want to trim. You see, notice how I didn't trim too low on the lower limbs. Notice how I didn't take the lower limbs in shorter than the top. I try to keep it somewhat of a uniform shape from the bottom up. If it had green there, I left green there. If it was all wooded out, then I chopped the wood back to stimulate the growth next spring when it wakes up. So we'll see how it turns out. I think it looks great. Let's clean her up and wrap this up right after this. All right, guys, that was fun. Got Bob and Mary here. Next up, they get haircuts, right? So we'll cut up Bob and Mary in the next video. We will clean up all of my lawn equipment, all my gear, get my gear all squared away, all clean and pretty and ready for next season, right? A little preventive maintenance. Just wanted to take the moment to give a big shout out to Derek at Lazy Lawns. He had this incredible giveaway. Man, it was awesome. It was epic. He put in a lot of hard work for the Movember campaign for the lawn care community this year, and I'd like to just send a special shout out to him. All right, guys, thanks for checking in. Remember, eat, mow, sleep, repeat. Don't cheat your lawn. Your lawn won't cheat you. I'll catch you next time for another dose of therapy with Rod.